Yo, welcome back to the channel. Right, so me and Stevie and Neil is actually underneath us, as always. So we're in Stratford and we're going to be getting on with a bit more stud work. So we got the floor down yesterday, up here, and we got that stud wall all built. So what we're going to do is going to get Steve to explain in a second. We're going to now start laying out for the utility room? No, ensuite, I mean. So we're going to start looking at that and yeah, and give you a bit more detail. So if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button in the corner, leave your comments below, and yeah, let's get stuck into it.
Okay, so as Mike was just telling you, we did a bit of stud work yesterday just before we finished. Today we've got to do the ensuite stud work. Yesterday, this main wall, this is a partition between the two bedrooms. So this one we've made out of 4x2. This one here, because we're a little bit more tight for space, we're going to do this in 3x2. Just makes the room just a little bit bigger then. Yeah, to go back to yesterday, we actually did the two different ways that I tend to do stud work. So this one, because it was just a straight square, I've just cut the head and the foot. We just did that 2.4 because it's manageable size then. And then we've cut all the uprights, and I've just fixed the whole thing together on the floor, lifted it up, knocked it into place, leveled it up, nailed it up. That's the easiest way usually, I find. With this one, because we got this funny shape, what I've done with this one is I've made it up in parts. So I've nailed the bottom, nailed this one up, and then started to put these in and nailed them as I've gone so that I could get all this shape. I find it a bit easier when you've got funny shapes like that, because trying to make that on the deck is quite a difficult thing to do, to get all the angles perfectly right there. So anyway, today, this one, we'll do the same sort of thing. First one, it's just a square on this end, so we can just build that up, pop that in. That's a nice, quick, easy one. This one here, we've got a doorway coming in roughly here, so we'll probably do the same for that bit. And then this little area here, we'll make in position. Okay, so I thought I'd just quickly show you as well how I've come to the size of the ensuite. If you're working off plans, what we've got here, some of these, when you're doing plans, sometimes these things will move slightly. So where we've got this central wall, which is that stud work there that we did yesterday, when we were doing the steel had to come over sort of 100mm because some of the other things downstairs have moved, the bifolds, that sort of thing. So some of these are a little bit of compromise, but it gives you a good idea of where it's supposed to be in terms of the plan. Now, when I try and work this out, I need to work out what the scale is. The scale for this is 1 to 50. So the easiest way I tend to find to work that out is if I use my ruler, and I usually just start at 100 because it's a bit easier. So I can see on there that that is 24. So if it's 50 to 1, I can halve that down to 12, so it's 1.2 meters. 0.2. That way I've got 50 or 5 centimeters. So I halve that 2.5 is 2.5 meters. And that's just why I find the easiest way, because if I haven't got a scale ruler or that sort of thing, it's just a bit easier to do it that way. Right, we're ready for the first bit of stud work. I've had Mikey down there cutting these ready for me. So the first one I know here is 1270 is the length. So we've cut 2 at 1270, and then I've marked these out. So I start from this end, doesn't matter which end obviously. And the first one I do to is 380mm. So we're doing 400 centres. So do it that way because I want, when we plasterboard, the edge of the plasterboard will be there, then where you get 400 will be the centre of that stud. Because otherwise we're going to be, they'll just be missing the studs all the time. So 380 780, 1180. So those then continue at 400s. With this, because it's 1270, we've got a little bit where it's just shy, still got to put them in. People always moan about, oh God, I use so much timber when I'm doing stud work, and they try and cut corners. Trouble is, when you come to plasterboarding, you've always got bits missing, things like that. It makes your life so much more difficult, and for the sake of a few timbers, you'll save yourself a lot of time and money in the long run by doing it that way. So we've marked those out, usually just put them together, square them up so we know that they're going to be parallel to each other. And then we've got all these cut to length, and then all we'll do is take this one, pop it down this end, and then we can just fix them all where they need to be. The other thing which Mikey might want to note is always put your X where you want your timber to be, don't we, Mikey?
I've never been caught out by that before, honestly.
Because every single person who comes to help me goes, I don't need to put that X in, I'll remember. And then they always end up putting one on the wrong side. And
I think Sean's worse at this now.
It's a pain.
Than me. I think I've learned after the amount of talking about that.
Yes,
But,
maybe.
Sean's
maybe.
definitely worse than
They
me.
get there in the end. They learn in the end.
Gotta beat it out of them, mate, that's what it is.
Exactly. So we'll get this bit fixed up and then we'll show you erecting it up then. Okay, so we've got our line. I've drawn the lines on the floor there so we know where we're going to. And then obviously we can level up from there. So we've got that all fixed. As it's worked out, those two are basically just together. But I know it looks fairly pointless, but it will help you in the long run. So we can slide that up to there. Then the easiest way I find is to just fix the bottom one. We know it's going to be in that position. I can fix it here because I can see the joists running as well. So I get a nice good fixing in all these. And then if we start down this end, level that up there. There we go, that's our first bit. I don't tend to put the noggins in the den. You can do, it's not a big deal. But I tend to just leave them and then we'll show you that in a second and we'll put all those in after. Okay, so we did the next panel there. Didn't bore you too much showing you all that. That's up, leveled up. You'll notice I've got two real close here. That one there is important because on this side, when I come to plasterboard, poof, we got somewhere to go. If that's not in there, it's just going to be all floppy. So that's what I mean. You're going to end up with quite a few extra studs in there at times, but all very important. Then this next bit, what I've done here is we've nailed the bottom piece, come up around and made our frame, and then just put this one in the middle, and then we've created this little smaller piece here. I've kept this up fairly high. When this ceiling here is going to need some insulated plasterboard on it, so it is going to drop down lower. So we're just going to have to try and get this doorway as high as we possibly can. I've tried to bring it over this way as much as possible, but we need to keep enough room here because there's going to be a shower tray in here, so that they can keep the maximum size shower tray. So the next job, then the final job really on the stud work, is to sort out the noggins. So normally with the noggins, I just measure up. So we like to put all the noggins usually halfway. So that would be about 1200, which is perfect for the Sparkies.
For the Sparkies, yeah.
So they moan like hell about that, don't they?
We do moan quite a lot about it. It's really annoying, and then you have to just come in and just smash them out of the way.
So what I normally do is I put them at 1300, so a little bit higher, but...
Keeping Princess happy.
Yeah, basically, yes. They're really important, the noggins, because they will stop all this movement, and especially if you've got little bows in the timber, they'll help to sort of straighten them all up if you put them all neatly in. So you'll notice the difference. I mean, it's pretty strong here anyway, but you'll notice the difference when the noggins are in as well. So we'll get those marked out and get all those in, and then we'll show you the final bit. Today's video is sponsored by Tradeify. It's job management software.
Yes.
Stop it. And so we use Tradeify for all our invoicing, quoting, all sorts of things like that. So we kind of we find it brilliant. It stores all the information on there, so we're not having to remember people's phone numbers, addresses, all that sort of thing. If you click on the link below, if you are interested, Tradeify, you'll get a 14-day free trial, and also if you want to take that further, then there's also a 3-month 50% off if you use the code GHAWK50. Okay, we've got the noggins in now, so that is a very strong bit of stud work now. That's not going anywhere. So that's all that sorted. And then the other thing we just needed to do as well was just screw these to the wall. It just ties everything in. And I think that's about it for a bit of stud work. Obviously, if you've got any questions, let us know. Anything I've missed, left out. But other than that, I think that is our new ensuite.